These words are for you, Captain Stoopendis. I really feel that you've lost your way out there, that you're looking to do things that are menial and just really kind of lost. A cat in the tree. The fire department can do that. Opening up a pickle jar for an old lady. That's a real sweet thing, but these are not the things that are really helping the city of Portland. You know, in these last few weeks, we've had a lot of problems here in the city, and I'm sorry, but I really believe they have to do with Toledo and some of her work. But the reality is we have done everything we can. And I personally, if you could have been with me these last few weeks, night after night after night, I've had contacts say, meet him at the middle of Burnside Bridge, over on Rocky Butte. I've been up to the Rose Garden. You name it. The only thing I haven't done was go out to Tigard. Someone said he was in Tigard, and I couldn't believe anybody would try to hide out in Tigard.
I don't think he understands what I'm going through. For him, it's all about, Portland. It's just me for him. I've got needs too. I'm doing the best I can. I try to explain that to him. I'm doing the best I can.
I haven't seen him in a little while. His favorite donut was the Great Babe, though. He loved a good Great Babe.
The early years of Guy Stubing, it's not an easy thing to talk about. The county fair was a very exciting thing to go to. You always wanted to ask a girl, but as it turns out, it was a setup. There was this plot to humiliate me in a portable lavatory. It got into one with the promise of Caroline said she was going to come in with me. Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. She liked that song. The next thing I knew, I'm standing in there totally naked, and the thing turns over. There's this enormous noise, and it turns over, and then there's this toxic blue ooze that's all over me, and this sound of laughing and laughing. And I woke up in the hospital. It was just the oddest thing. I'm really strong.
Of course he'd say that.
I had to move one of those a few feet one time. It hurt my back a little, but I could do it.
See, his superpowers are relegated to jumping really high and running really fast. Now, that's not really anything to be proud of.
Can run really fast, kind of like that, flash thing, It's really, really cool.
I think that in a battle of wits, which is what it generally comes down to in this day and age, Captain Stoopendis, he might have a thing or two coming.
I guess you would call her, in the comic book world, you might call her like an evil genius. She's a super villain. Toledo Vader.
Okay, now is she related to Darth Vader?
No, there's no relation, though she tries to play it as if she is sometimes, but don't believe it. Don't believe it. Her bark is much worse than her bite. Kind of a typical woman in that sort of way.
Typical woman. And what do you suppose that means? Typical woman. I speak 7 languages. I've lived in 14 countries. I have degrees in chemistry, biology, English, and anthropology.
She reads really fast. Like that's a big deal.
His calling is to go out and save people and fight crime. I don't know how exactly he got his superpowers, but I think somehow his heart became totally pure.
The one thing that I knew that I could never do in public, never could I do that. I mean, do you see the difference?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Standing in a store, and something occurred that rarely ever occurred. The world was silent. There was no screaming. It just kind of took me by surprise. Without thinking, I just suddenly saw there was a smudge on my eyeglass. I take my glasses off, and all of a sudden I hear,
Hey, you're Captain Stoopendis.
next thing I know, there's a picture. It's in the papers, New York Times.
That picture of him in the paper.
And so now I can't go anywhere. I just can't go anywhere.
When you're dating a superhero, there's a certain mystery to him, you know? Kind of a James Bond kind of thing. Like, you don't ask too many questions and he doesn't really talk too much. Kind of nice.
People want me to do just the dumbest stuff. If I had a nickel for every time I had to open the stupid pickle jar for my neighbor.
Guy accidentally took his glasses off in public, and now he's acting like he's being victimized by his adoring fans. You accidentally took off your glasses in public? What the hell were you thinking, moron?
What were we talking about? Excuse me. Captain Stoopendis. No, hold on just a second. Listen, I'm in the middle of an interview, and I just got back from a. I know it's important. It's always important. Listen, do you know Captain Nuclear? It doesn't sound right. Nuclear. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's N-U-C. Well, anyway, you'll find it. It rings all the time. It's constant. It's pretty annoying.
It was better when there was that guy we didn't know who was taking care of business. But now that we know about him, he's just too busy being a superstar.
Laney Lowe.
We met when I was pretty low, if you'll pardon the pun. It was kind of weird at first, dating a superhero.
We had that sort of relationship, that kind of therapist-client thing that gets real fuzzy sometimes.
Let me tell you, without the tights and the cape, he ain't much to look at. Guy Steubing? Yeah, he called me for a couple of times. Actually, he called me over and over. I just didn't answer the phone.
Wingboy? What? Has anybody seen Wingboy? He looks like Sowboy. He couldn't run from here to the donut shop.
He's been with me for quite some time, and James K. Turk is his name. I call him my wingman.
Do you think you made a difference in Portland?
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.